Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. Before I get to the actual comics, I want to show... I got this guy from the shop this week. Oh, God, he's awesome. He came as part of this book, and I'll show you the spine here. Well, not the spine, but I thought the book would be bigger, but a lot of it is just this padding that housed the minifigure up there. So this is kind of a run through of a bunch of the Spider Marvel figures and sets, and it's kind of cool. I enjoy Lego quite a bit. I enjoy Spider-Man. I especially enjoy Cyborg Spider-Man. This figure is super cool. It is, I mean, kind of expensive. It's, what is it, $17? But, yeah. I'm happy I have it. So, this guy's awesome. I got that. If you're interested, you can get this from shops. That's where I got mine. So, on to the comics. We are going to start with Transformers 21. And I think everything I got this week is pretty good. Transformers. We still got Ultra Magnus. There are only a few issues left, and I wouldn't say Berg makes fun of me, but Berg points out in our private conversations how I think differently about stories than he does, and I'm constantly trying to think about where something is going, and he, I think, is enjoying it as it goes. We get more Bruticus stuff, Bruticus and Devastators this issue, and all that's awesome. But I very much am trying to figure out where something is going and how much time they have left, and what storylines are getting wrapped up and what isn't. There's a lot of arm violence done to arms this issue. So obviously, since early on, Optimus has been using Megatron's arm, and there's kind of a body parts situation, if you remember that movie. So, possibly, I guess I thought one of the things, what I thought was one of the plot lines turns out to be something else. Maybe. It's not fully explained, but somebody has a theory. Anyway, we also get this issue where there's like a big reveal of him. Already scrolled past him. Look at this guy. Sure, Arielbot fans are happy with this. I am not one of those, but art's awesome. So, bunch of cool stuff happening. There's stuff happening on Cybertron and Earth, and Shredhead here is probably going to be coming back to Earth. And I don't know what's happening on Cybertron. I don't know. Like I said, there's only a few issues left. I have no idea where any of this is going, but it's an enjoyable ride. Umbrella Academy has a new miniseries starting. I'm a huge fan of the Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba brothers, so I love whenever they put out new work. But this is the Umbrella Academy stuff, and there is this opening sequence that tells you, if you're familiar at all with Umbrella Academy, that he actually found 14 children, not the 7 that we knew. And the other 7 were sequestered in Norway, apart from everyone else, and kept it secret. And there is this secondary opening sequence featuring that set of children, and it shows a glimpse of what they can do, but I think, troublingly, they are sent, likely, to take care of this werewolf, magical werewolf that's on a plane. That scene concludes near the end, so they're having this face-off, and it explodes. And the shocked looks on their faces I take as not a good sign. And then the kids come down and target neutralized. The target was neutralized by blowing up a plane. Not cool. Not cool, dude. Also, in the present, that second set, the Sparrows, have a face-off with the Umbrella Academy. That's what's happening here, and what takes up the middle chunk of this book. And Umbrella are not prepared. They do not fare well in this encounter, but it's off to a strong start. I guess my trouble with it is I don't remember where Hotel Oblivion left off, and that's like 6 years ago, I think, since I last read that. So did the sparrows show up at the end of this? And should I remember that? And that's the one volume of Umbrella Academy that I didn't buy the trade for, so I've only got the single issues, and I think they're in the box right behind this table. But I haven't gone digging through the single issues. Anyway, I don't remember where Hotel Oblivion left off. So did we meet the sparrows at the end of that, or is this the beginning of that? And I don't know. Art is still great, though. Still love Ba. He's incredible. But story-wise, I feel like I'm a step behind. Similarly, there's Absolute Batman. And I had skipped issue 8 of the series, the second part of the Mr. Freeze, because I really did not like issue 7, the first part of Mr. Freeze. And so 9 starts, and like I was just saying, with Umbrella Academy, I feel one step behind. I don't know how much was told in issue 8 that I skipped. This is insanity. This page was shown off beforehand, and that's his face there. Just a full wall of muscle. Anyway, so stuff is happening with Bruce and Alfred and his friends, but at the root of it is Waylon is missing. And so Batman is going around the city beating up people. He's having this conversation, and I like the idea that Batman is having the typical Gordon relationship with a different Gordon. That's cool. Meanwhile, there's stuff still going on with Papa Gordon and Martha. I find that storyline fantastic as well. This is, much like the first issue, narrated by Alfred, and his narration is phenomenal. I love it. All of these notes that he writes. Anyway, stuff is Arc M. So Arc M has been talked about in vague terms thus far. It's definitely different than typical Gotham City Arkham, but Bane is very different too. I like this version of Bane. I would like to see more of this, but Bane is huge. We saw him here in the opening pages, so that is 2 normal people. There's a better shot of just his sheer mass. Right, and then at the end of this, I guess even before that, Snyder had been talking in interviews and press that this is not even Bane using Venom. I'll show that. This is nuts. So Batman and Bane do have a confrontation, and Batman does not fare well. He kind of gets his ass kicked. It's another one of those sequences where I have no idea where this is going. The deck is so stacked against Batman, I have no idea what's going to happen. But this is what he looks like, and you could see the size. So that's Batman, who's already tall, and just, I mean, he's got to be 13, 15 feet tall. He's friggin' huge. Also, his head gets bigger. Anyway, Bane, off to a great start. I actually read this one last, and I read great narration here. I read great narration thought boxes here, and this one, same sort of thing. There's a lot of narration as far as what is going on with Conan. You get all of these yellow boxes, and there's an editor note here about this is happening after the events of 9 through 12, which is a little weird because we're currently up to 21. So, like, yeah, obviously this should be happening after 9 through 12, but also that was a while ago. That was his time travel shenanigans with Cull and the elephant dude and all of that stuff. So we get Conan action. We get this guy. I'll show you the last page. We get her. And we get this guy. So this is all leading into, I don't remember if there's an ad for it here somewhere. Maybe not. This kind of upsets me a little bit. But written by Walter Simonson, digital exclusive. Like, why, dude? How would you do that? Why not just print the thing? I have seen interior art. So Simonson did the cover. Interior art is not as good, I will say. But just print the thing. Anyway, Conan, it is... I think this is supposed to tie into the Ring of the Serpent or whatever the miniseries is that is coming. So I skipped issue 20 of this, and I'm back. I'm trying to skip artists that I don't particularly enjoy because the writing is close to great, but it's not. I think that opening 4 issues, it's not as good as that. The opening 4 issues are the peak, I think, of this Conan run. The rest of it is good. It's just a little bit less than. And so I have decided to only grab the good artists, in my opinion. And this art, I think, is great. Also, this cover by Dan Panosian. Phenomenal. I'm really loving Panosian's cover work lately. So, it's typical Conan stuff. He rescues a girl. He then brings her to town, has sex with her, slips out the window, does a little bit of light burglary, and hell breaks loose. It's, I think, off to a good start, and I'll probably stick around for the arc and then decide based on whoever the artist is for the next one. I mentioned this briefly already, but Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. This is issue 8. Got this great Mohan is there. We get some history of Mohan here in the opening pages. We also get a surprise reappearance. There's a character that was shown early on that I didn't think we'd ever see again, and it makes sense that he would also show up in this hell, this purgatory, wherever they actually are. But art is phenomenal, and like I was saying about where is it? I think McGrath is narrating, but there's a density to his narration. It's used infrequently, but the little bit that does get narrated is just, it's so well done. It's really gets the point across very quickly. The minimalist words actually work in its favor, and it's fantastic. I loved it. The series is great. Highly recommend the series. But this issue in particular, if you've been reading from the beginning, really, I think, ratchets up a lot of the drama that is going on, and I friggin' loved every second of it. It is, by the way, my pick of the week, so this is everything that I got this week. A lot of it is great. Really, the only thing that is slightly less than great is Conan, but Transformers, loved this. The stuff with basically the weirdness that has been going on with Optimus that I thought was Matrix related turns out to maybe not be. So I'm intrigued. Umbrella Academy off to a great start. Once again, love Ba. Batman, also enjoyed the hell out of it. Really, absolute Alfred, I think, is... I like Alfred better than Bruce, I think. Yes. Yeah. Confidently. Yes. And Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. So, good stuff. Got all of this, including Lego, from my local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.